the go home show of Friday Night Smackdown before Backlash. And because it was the go home show, we had a great show. Wrong. This show was ass, filler, trash. We got no good stories. We had about four tag team matches and a whole bunch of filler jobber matches. 4 tag team matches before a home show. Go home show. Women's title's not doing anything on the show. WWE Championship's there. He had like a 8-minute promo at the end of the show. We'll get to that. This was us. How's anyone supposed to be hype? So we start the show a little bit differently. Rather than a little promo, we get someone walking straight to the ring, and then Priest bumps into LA Knight. They have a little bit of a back and forth. Oh, you got my back, I'll keep yours. I don't know if I should trust you. Same old. This match is pointless. Priest and LA Knight are going to face Solo for some reason and Jacob. Surely Drew McIntyre should have been in this match. This fatal 4-way that everyone's been demoted to has Drew McIntyre in it. So why is Solo in this tag match? It's quite obvious that he's just in there to take the pin. Solo is now a jobber. We lost 9-8 months of our lives to him being the fake tribal chief, and now he's just a jobber. He's a sidekick. What was the point? And just as you know it, they had a tag match. I think Priest got his ass kicked for most of it. LA Knight got a hot tag. They both tagged each other in forcibly, had a bit of friction there, and then, yes, Solo takes the pin as predicted. And then Drew decides to come out after the match. Why was he not in this match? Hits a Claymore, a bit of a brawl. There's enough, that's all there is to say about this. This is pointless. Jacob's going to retain. Everyone's been demoted. Drew, later on in the night, cut a very good promo, and he has pointed out how none of this makes sense. Drew seems to be one of the only self-aware guys, him and Kevin Owens, only self-aware guys on this roster, because he said, why is anyone else in this match? Drew won at WrestleMania. LA Knight lost at WrestleMania. Priest lost at WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu is a champion. Drew won a number 1 contenders match. Although it was by disqualification, he won, therefore he is the number 1 contender. So how has LA Knight and Priest gotten themselves into this match? It doesn't make sense. He called it out, and you're right. The fans think the same. The storylines don't make sense. This is true. And we get a little bit of R-Truth and Jimmy Uso. It's kind of like the same segment we've seen a couple of weeks, but at least, you know, maybe it will build up to something. They're really trying to show that Truth is a Cena fan. He's backstage chanting, "Let's go Cena, we can't hear you." Just trying to block out the "You Cena sucks" chants, you know what I mean? Jimmy again says, "What? Cena sucks." We recycled it, but maybe I'd like to see a little in-ring thing with Truth and Cena at one point. Not that it should be for a title, God no, please don't do that. But a little something funny could happen here, so let's leave it at that. R-Truth's very funny. Then we have a little bit of Chelsea Green promo. And I wanna put some respect on Chelsea Green's name right now, because she seems to be the only person that cares that she lost a title. She's the only person. She was holding a eulogy for the end of her title reign backstage, and seems to be the only person upset about losing the title since WrestleMania. Gunther, who's fighting an announcer after losing the world title, he's not even looked at Jey Uso. He's not even mentioned losing the world title. Joke. Absolute joke. He's meant to be the ring general. He's meant to care about things that are sacred. He's meant to care about this industry. He's fighting announcers when he just lost the world title at WrestleMania on the grandest stage. Not only that, he tapped out. And we've got Chelsea Green, who's more upset about using the US title. Make it make sense. Chelsea, respect on your name. Thank you for caring. Then we get Chelsea Green, Piper Niven versus Zelina, who comes out to no pop, because what is that music? And then a mystery opponent, which is a mystery tag team partner, which is Alexa Bliss, who we haven't seen since the Rumble. On-off booking. On and off booking, hot and cold. Where has she been for, 5 months now? So Alexa Bliss comes back. Great to see her back, as always. Hope they do something with her soon. This was a nothing tag team match. Not really sure what the point of any of this is. Who's Zelina's next opponent? What's this US title going to be doing going forwards? I don't know. Does it even matter who won? I can't even remember who won. I'm going to assume the faces won. Because WWE is very predictable, but I don't think I even care. And we get Rey Fenix attacked by Los Garza backstage, because this is a tried and tested thing in the WWE. This has been happening for years. This is pre-Triple H. All the Mexicans have beef with each other. It's just on site. If you're Mexican and you show up to WWE, you got beef with all the Mexicans. I don't know why. It's silly. There's no reason for this. But yeah, of course, because Rey Fenix is Mexican, he's got beef with all the Mexicans by default. This sets up a tag match with Andrade and Rey Fenix versus Las Garza. Jobber, 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 jobber. No one cares about this. Then we have Charlotte Flair come out. Charlotte Flair, yeah, she's quite sourced out today. She's looking good outfit, I thought. Looking good, got a bit of swagger today. The crowd doesn't seem to know whether to boo her or cheer her because they had a bit of a mixed reaction. Thanks to the booking. I think everyone wanted to cheer Charlotte until she won the Rumble, and now no one knows what to do. And I think everyone knows that Charlotte carried Tiffany in that WrestleMania match. Tiffany is not fit to be champion. She said Tiffy time and got pushed to the moon because of one catchphrase. And this is getting silly now. This is getting silly. Charlotte with a bum knee after a year and a half came and carried her through a WrestleMania title match, which wasn't good. It was sloppy, but for some reason Charlotte came out and said she just came off the best match, a women's match in WrestleMania history or women's match in history. Not that his opinion matters, but Dave Meltzer gave it a 1 star or something, 1 3/4, which is, I thought, very harsh, a bit outrageous. But I can see where he's coming from. It wasn't good. But for Charlotte to say that is absolutely wild. But yeah, I think the fans got annoyed at her now, and now they're booing her for real. Charlotte gets flustered. She says, "Why are you disrespecting me?" She gets upset and basically walks out on them. As she's walking out, Jade Cargill's music hits. Who's coming out for a number 1 contenders match with Nia Jax. And there's a little face-off at the ramp. Maybe there's a little something going to happen there. Wouldn't mind to see that. That's good for both of them, I think. And I think Charlotte, at the end of her career, this is what she should be doing, just sort of working with the younger people, trying to put them over. Jade probably needs a technical whiz like Charlotte to help her a little bit. You know, I think that's a good idea. If it happens, there's only a stare down. Let's not read into it. There was a bit of a backstage segment as well with Alexa and Charlotte. That could be a little something too. I don't mind seeing that either. Maybe throw Jade in there, screw it. Then we have a number 1 contenders match for Tiffy's title. Tiffy, the world champion who doesn't wrestle much. And if she does, she got carried by Charlotte with a bum knee and cannot cut a promo, says Tiffy time, and walks away. This is what happens when fans try to make stuff go viral. We get champions that aren't good at their job. This has been uninteresting, rubbish champion, uninteresting, no story. There's been no character arc for Tiffy for how long now? Her whole character arc since Money in the Bank was, am I going to cash in? Am I not going to cash in? She cashed in and then nothing. She's come out for 6 months, said Tiffy time, and left. I can't tell you anything her character's been through. And to my disbelief, Nia Jax is number 1 contender. She beats Jade Cargill. Naomi attacks Tiffy. This isn't a DQ because neither of them are in the match. Tiffy was watching from the side. Naomi attacks her. Naomi should get it, if anything, because she's the only one sort of with a character. She cut a great promo with Bianca explaining the heel turn. You know, she's trying to, you know, she's crashing out a little bit. But she's not involved because Nia then pinned Jade to be number 1 contender. How have we not seen this before? We've seen Jade Tiffany for like 6 months last year when Tiffy was Money in the Bank holder and Nia was champion. Nia has got to be the most filler women's world champion, filler women's number 1 contender of all time. When Rhea had a match in Elimination Chamber, it was Nia Jax. When Bayley lost the title, it was only for Nia to hold it to then get cashed in on by Tiffany. She is the most filler contender of all time. And all this show is filler. Now we're going to get Nia at Tiffy some point down the road, which is going to be another waste of a pay-per-view match. Not to mention, we've also pinned Jade Cargill, who we spent, you know, we gave her a whole injury angle, who attacked her angle. She was off TV for months, came back at Mania to win, and now she just got pinned in the number 1's contender. Wouldn't the logical thing to have done here was the logical thing not for Jade to be number 1 contender after the sort of rise she's had in the last few months? Was that not the logical thing to do? Or we're just back to Samoa. We're just back to the Samoan bloodline taking up all the slots. We're back to Nia Jax being number 1 contender. Great stuff. Then we get to the ring and we have a promo between Street Profits and Fraxium, which was bad. Street Profits are talking about their TLC match, which was excellent. Fraxium comes out and says, "Oh, HBK told us in NXT, if you see an opportunity, you take it." And Somehow, just by saying that, Nick Aldis comes out and says, "Yeah, have a match with the tag team titles, with the tag team champions." It wasn't for the titles, but it's just that easy to get matches now. Paul Heyman, all he had to do was go up to Jey Uso and ask. All these guys had to do was say they want to take an opportunity, and they get a match with the tag team champions. And guess what? The tag team champions got pinned, and just like that, they're probably going to be the number one contenders because they've pinned the champions. It's just that easy. We don't build things. No one's got to earn anything anymore. We just got to show up to the ring, say a couple words, and there's your title match. Why is the US title match a fatal four-way? Why did Penta get added to the Dominic IC title match at Backlash? I'm pretty sure they just announced it on a match card, just in a in between matches promo. There's no reason for anything anymore. It's just content to fill up 2 hours, 3 hours of SmackDown and Raw every week. Why? And now we got the flip side of the spectrum. We just burned through a pay-per-view match, what could have been a good undercard pay-per-view match, on SmackDown. Why have we done this? If you're going to do filler, you may as well go all in. And now the one good one we could have had, we wasted. We got Carmelo Hayes versus Aleister Black. Aleister Black showed up the other week. In his first week, he knocked out Miz after a promo. In his second week, he beat Miz in a one-on-one match. And in his third week, he's having a match with Carmelo Hayes, one of the best in-ring workers on SmackDown, who's wrestling week to week, week on week, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, who had a good year last year. They didn't capitalize on it, but he had a good year last year. We could have had a great spotlight for Aleister Black on a pay-per-view, having a banger after banger after banger with Carmelo Hayes. And we've just done it on a SmackDown, and Carmelo Hayes got rolled up. He got rolled up. Then we go back to another nothing jobber tag team match. We've got the Mexican Civil War, because that's WWE, the only storyline they have in the bank, which doesn't have any build. We're just putting all the Mexicans together as they always do. It's just the initiation process at this point. We've got Rey Fenix, Andrade versus Los Garzas. Andrade gets the win. That's enough to say about that. And post-match, Berto slaps Escobar's hand out of the way. Is anyone meant to care about this? Sure, maybe if Austin Theory slaps Grayson Waller, if they ever get to that, that might make me feel something. But why am I supposed to care about this? These guys are never on TV. If they are, they're being jobbers, and now the jobbers are going to break up. Why am I going to react to this? That's enough to say about that. And then we move on to the main event promo. The main event promo. At least Cena's closing the show as opposed to opening it. Maybe he likes to beat the traffic and likes to always do the starting segments. At least he's closing the show this time. So the final shot of SmackDown before Backlash is actually the main event feud for once. That's a nice change. He cuts a little promo. He's same old stuff, last real champion, never seen 17. Someone throws a bottle at him. He gets a bit annoyed. He gets into the promo. And to be fair, Cena cuts a good promo here, which probably should have happened when he was face-to-face with Randy Orton. Randy Orton's not in the ring at this point. And he basically, he starts to cook Randy Orton. He says, you're a legend because of me. You're a legend killer, and if you kill the legend that is me, you'd be killing the legend of me. Or the legend of yourself, something like that. Basically saying that he made Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's been leeching off of him. He said, you're a third-generation superstar. No one knows your granddad. And he said, the only reason people know your dad is because he knocked up your mum and gave birth to you at some point down the road. Which is, he kind of cooked him. But I really think Randy should have been in the ring for this segment. It could have been good to see a face-to-face back and forth when Cena's like cooking someone like this. But really, Cena's too good at this. We need to get to Cena and Punk, because there's no one who can hang with him when he's trying to cook brothers like this. We need Cena Punk. That's probably the only one that can do it. Maybe the Miz, if they get to that, but they've relegated Miz to a jobber now, so I don't know if that's going to be believable. Then this segment ends very weird. We got someone with a mask who comes in. So Cena's posing with the title as he did Raw after WrestleMania, and then we've got someone with a mask, balaclava, rising behind him in the shot of the camera, same as Randy Orton did a few weeks ago. Goes to RKO him. Cena reverses, FU, drops him into the floor. What? Any explanation? Okay, so anyway, we keep going, and then Cena's taunting, and then the actual Randy Orton comes up, RKOs him, lays him out, and I'm pretty sure Cena getting laid out, leading into a build of any feud, is just the only thing they've done to build any feud so far. Cody, I think, laid him out of a crossroads twice on the road. Two out of their 3 visits on the road to WrestleMania. Randy's now done it twice. 2 out of 3 visits or 2 out of 4 visits on the road to WrestleMania. Not much story going on, not much back and forth, and we're just gonna gloss over the fact that this random masked man, a lot smaller than Randy Orton, I think it's Sean Spears is what I'm hearing based on the tattoos that were visible. So what's the story behind this? Has Randy paid some guy? He's paid someone from NXT to come up with a balaclava wearing an RKO hoodie on to try and RKO Cena, knowing that Cena's gonna reverse him so he can RKO him after. What? Or is he friends with him now? We're just Randy Orton, 15-time, 14-time world champion, is just hiring guys now, or we're just gonna gloss past it. I know what's gonna happen. No one's gonna explain it. We're just gonna move on, and it's just gonna be a thing that happened. It's just content for the sake of content. Nothing's explained. That's the go home show, Smackdown. It was rubbish. This show sucks. The product sucks. There's no stories going into this. This is a filler pay-per-view. Good night.